Hi, and welcome to my studio. Glad you could join me again. I've decided to do another picture of some barns. You probably noticed from my other videos that I do like barns as a subject for a drawing. But right away, this is a good example of correcting little mistakes that you've made if you come straight in with ink. The lower line of boards I did, the perspective is a little off. So you'll see how I correct that in a few seconds here. Now you see this line I am going to put down here of this edge of the barn, corner of the barn. It kind of swoops in at the bottom too far. But all I do then is just come in with some dark grass, and that seems to correct it. I'm also putting a door in, which isn't in the picture, but I kind of wanted something for the viewer to go to after walking along the fence line. Now you can see here where I come in with the pen and go lower down. So moving the boards down so the perspective is a little easier on the eye and seems a little bit more correct. I find a lot of the pen drawings that I do, I tend to come in a second time and darken some of the lines. So for this drawing, I thought I'd press a little harder, make a little bit more ink flow, and to keep the lines a little darker, which is working quite well on this new paper that I bought. Which is very white and smooth, and it really handles well with the ink. I always have a list of the materials I use at the end of the videos if you're interested in that type of thing. But this new drawing pad that I bought, it's a multimedia paper, 115 pounds weight, and it's the A5 or the 5.8 by 8.3 inches. It's not bound with thread. It's not thread bound. So to use it in the field, it would. I think it would come apart after a while. But for studio purposes, this is perfect. And as you can see after the watercolor, it takes to it quite well. Although I never intended these videos to be tutorials, a lot of people are using them as such, so that's why I kind of I'm giving a little commentary once in a while the way I'm doing things. Because even though I didn't mean for it to be a tutorial, if I can encourage or help others in any way, I'm all for that. As a lot of things in these drawings, I've just given a little indication of the grass here and there, especially when there's shadow. Kind of works well. And the light is quite bright from the left-hand side of the image, leaving some very dark cast shadows over the grass and onto the barns. So I wanted to make sure I got that in to give the whole picture form and shape. Shadows are so important that even when there are no shadows, like on certain sides of buildings or whatever, when you're doing a picture, I put them in anyway, just imagining where they would be. I think this picture was taken earlier in the year, so there aren't leaves on the trees, so I've just given the small twigs a just very loose application. Again, indicating some of the shadows by putting the grass in where the shadows would be. Kind of a loose indication of the fence. Mainly just looking at the photograph and studying the photograph and seeing how the pieces are constructed. And perspective is always in your mind when you're drawing anything to do with buildings or anything actually that goes off into the distance, which gets smaller the further away you go. I'll put a few birds in as usual. Actually, I put a few more birds in because you'll see around barns a lot of times the pigeons will be flying in little flocks. Now the shadow on the ground I also do horizontally to go with the ground, and making that one shadow from the larger tree go up towards the door. Kind of give another pointer toward the door. As I said before, this multimedia paper really handled the watercolor well, I think. As with any smooth paper, the watercolor doesn't blend as well as watercolor paper. So you have to be a little faster. So this worked out pretty well, keeping it nice and wet as I do it. And the paper is thick enough to handle the wash. I try to vary the color a little bit as I'm doing the different surfaces. And then keeping those far trees kind of bluish, so that they go into the recede a little bit into the distance. And as I get closer to the foreground, a little bit more intense paint and a little warmer. So I'm liking the way this one is coming out, kind of a vignette style. I'm trying not to put too much paint on. And hoping to keep that outdoor airy feel. And then to keep the nice contrast going, I add more dark to the shadow sides of things. Anyway, thank you for dropping by. It's a real pleasure to share these videos with you, and I love the comments I'm getting. It's very encouraging. So thanks again, and take care.